I don't care how rich they are. I don't care how successful they are. When they spend 5-10 years of their life building something, they're attached to that asset at an emotional level, just like their relationship. It's their baby.
Single-handedly ruined my YouTube career.
One of the biggest content creators in real estate.
Enes.
Put yourself in my shoe for a second. I'm a foreigner. This is not my native language. Now, on top of that, I'm critiquing some of the most exquisite assets in the world.
Have you got one particular experience that still haunts you to this day? You now have too many people reaching out to you that you literally just can't please everyone.
No, we can. It's a scale tool. I will say this about social media. A lot of people ask me like, should I do what you're doing? How active should I be on Instagram? The way I look at social media is a little bit broader.
Do you think that the owners of these properties, yachts, jets, do they seem happy to you?
Great question.
Before we jump into today's episode, I just want to mention that this podcast is brought to you by me and everything that I've built to help you guys level up. If you want to transform your physique, build muscle, lose body fat, then you have the Thirst app, which has everything inside there that you could possibly need to get yourself in shape. I've also got the digital playbook, which is there to help you guys build a social media following, monetize that following, and to help create personal brand and build a life of freedom, which I have built for myself. I've showed you the way to do it. You should check it out. If you're curious about any of those, you should check out the description below and you'll have links to everything you'll need. Now let's get cracking with the episode. What's up, guys, and welcome back to First Things First. We have a special guest today, Enes. Thank you for coming down. I know you've got an absolutely hectic schedule, but I appreciate you taking the time out. And I'll tell you one thing, this is the first time before a podcast where I've been literally going around the house, cleaning everything, making sure everything's looking like as good as it can do.
Now you got a beautiful spot here. This is the view's great. I love the minimalist decor. No, this is a great spot.
Mm-hmm. And Dubai is becoming like a more of a regular spot for you to come and visit.
Yeah. Somehow we're drawn to this place more and more. I think it's this energy, the amount of progress this city is experiencing. Mm-hmm. It's enticing, it's exciting, and I feel like maybe I missed the first 30 years of Dubai and its evolution. I've been coming here for the last 3 years, but I want to make sure we're here for the next 30 years.
Yeah,
and it's exciting to be part of it.
Whereas the base now is LA, but I imagine it seems as though you're just constantly on the move. I mean, how often are you actually home for?
I think we travel for 15 days every 45 days. That's where it seems to be balancing off. And we try to find a certain location and try to, bundle a couple shoots together just so we can justify the travel. Because as you know, editing, running a production company, we're based in LA, then the type of business and the type of videos we do, it requires a lot of preparation, communication back and forth. So it can get quite complicated. We try to manage it as efficiently as possible, but also traveling is in such essence of what we do. Mm-hmm. We want to bring access to people. We want to showcase the best assets in the world, and we want people to feel like they're right there with us. And when you have that kind of expectations out of videos, it takes time to produce them. Hence, there are times we travel 2 to 3 weeks, to a certain location and coming back to LA, catching up on your life, and then traveling again. It can get hectic.
Yeah. And you're taking the team with you everywhere you go? For
the most part, yeah. I take anywhere from 3 to 5 team members with us, depending on the shoot, depending on what needs to be done on that trip. Mm-hmm. And but it is fun. We work very closely. Our team is very united, very hands-on, and they're the ones that honestly make all of this happen. I mean, producing videos, being active on social media, and the amount of networking we do on the back end. Yeah. We've talked about it a little bit before the podcast, but getting access to these assets, yachts, homes, jets, it takes a minute to gain the trust. It takes a minute to let the other side know that you're capable of processing and understanding what they have created, and you can do the justice to show it to the world and be their voice for the world to hear what they have created.
Yeah. I want to just dive into how this all started just a little bit. I know you told your story before, but I'm genuinely curious as well. As far as I know, you were a professional windsurfer.
Correct.
And then you got into real estate. And then at a certain point you started to create these videos where you were touring homes going back to the oldest videos on your YouTube channel. I'm glad you still keep those old videos there.
For a reason.
You were literally just going around with a GoPro and just showing these properties. Obviously the production quality was quite different. You had a lot of funky music playing in the background.
That would be correct.
But it's the same thing with my journey as well. Like it's very different to how it is now. But what got you into this originally?
So, long story short, I'm from Turkey, and at the age of 13, I got introduced to the sport of windsurfing, and that changed my life. Became a professional windsurfer, did that for 13 years, traveled the world, became a 3-time world champion, and that's how I got my green card. And 2007, when I was 17 years old, I moved to Texas because I got scholarship at Texas A&M. And that started my journey in US. And at age of 21, I bought myself a house in Texas right after the '08 crisis. And it was a remodel. And I finished the home, completed it, and I've loved it. I've loved, using drill, hammers, and there was something tactile and exciting about building something with your own hands.
Mm-hmm.
And I told myself, once I'm done with windsurfing, this is the next thing I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's precisely what I did for 3.5 years. And after that, I was in a place in my life where I made money. I was in a good place. I remodeled homes. I was like, you know what? I always like LA. Maybe I should go to a city where other young and competitive people are pushing boundaries. And I went there without a plan, really. And I was like, you know what? I'll be a real estate agent that will keep me close to what I love, which is real estate, and I'll find my way. And after being an agent for 3 to 4 months, everybody in my office was, you know too much about real estate. You know too much about houses. You know too much about construction. You should make videos about this. I was like, sure. So I called my buddy Mikey, who was my friend from Texas. Yeah. And I was like, Mikey, I'm not making any money. I don't know much people here, but I know you want to move and live in LA as well. Come sleep on my couch. I'll be a real estate agent during the day. You do what you got to do, but on the weekends we'll go shoot, home tours, or we'll do brokers open videos. And that's exactly what you're pointing out. We would literally go to houses with a GoPro and just randomly talk about details. And somehow it worked out. And then from there we scaled, and that's really the story. Here we are.
How did you originally get access to those properties to begin with? And what was the idea behind you making these videos to try and sell the property itself?
So I was an agent at that time, and when you ask for this kind of access, you have to give something in return. And our approach was, look, let us make a video. I'm pretty educated when it comes to properties, so I'll do my best to showcase the property at its best light, and that will give you exposure. Simple pitch. And obviously at the beginning, almost everybody said no, but here and there you got lucky, and each opportunity was a stepping stone. So I was very careful to analyze the opportunity and say, you know what, let's make the best video possible. Let's make the investment. And then we'll see if this will lead us to a bigger or better opportunity. And that's to some degree exactly what happened. We started shooting small homes for a couple of hours. Then we started getting access to better homes. I'm like, you know what, instead of shooting it over 2-3 hours, let's spend the whole day. Let's get really good shots. Let's have an intro montage. Let's have an outro montage. Let's have a little theme going on. Mm-hmm. And you know how it is when you start a business. You want to evolve it. You want to iterate it. You want to make it better. And it honestly got a little bit out of control. There are videos now we spend well over 1,000 man hours from the time we start strategizing the video, going and shooting it, post-production. One of our videos was well over 1,000 hours just to make an 1.5-hour video. But to me, it's a timeless piece of IP. It's a way to celebrate the hard work that has been put into a home. And if someone spends 5 years of their life and hundreds, if not thousands of people contribute their craftsmanship, their effort into building something, I don't think it's too much for us to spend 1,000 hours to document that and share it with the world.
Yeah,
I think it's fair. And maybe that approach is excessive to some degree, but to me, it's the honorable thing to do. And that's what we have done.
Were you getting inspiration from anyone else, or was this just you just wanting to do a better job of showcasing these properties?
When we started, there were other people doing property tours.
Yeah.
We are not the pioneers of it, but I would say we're probably the pioneers when it comes to going in and doing these extensive tours, really covering details, and more so making people feel like they're there touring with us.
Yeah.
And that was really the important element for me personally, because there's this concrete wall, there's this exclusivity barrier with luxury that bothers me a little bit, where I'm better than you. This is really luxurious. So I'm not sure if you can afford this, but be distant from me. Like this way of marketing. And I was like, you know what? I want to democratize that. I want to show the world that you can showcase something, you can do it elegantly, and you can do it at a very elevated level, but you can invite everyone. You can be that friendly person. You can be that person that is trusted, that guides you along. So intimidation was the last thing I wanted in my videos. I wanted where people, no matter where they're watching from, they feel like they have a buddy who's excited to show them something.
Yeah.
That was really the key essence of how we wanted to do it.
Yeah, because I would imagine there must be so many people, they're never going to see these properties. Like they're never going to reach the checklist that will allow them to even get the chance to tour a place, because they're just not rolling with that kind of money. So I think that's one of the reasons why they are so successful, because people have never seen anything like it before. Like it's one of the reasons why I started. I can't remember the first video that I saw of yours, but I remember, I would see the thumbnail, I would see the title, I'd be like, oh my God, like what the hell? Like I genuinely want to see what is inside this property, because I've never seen anything like it before. And you do a very good job of, as you mentioned, just talking about every single detail. So, and it's funny as well, because I know how hard that is, because obviously I have my own YouTube channel. I have my days where I just can't like get my words out, or when there's these things just aren't going your way. There may be these external problems with,
you're not in that energy, that spirit sometimes. No, it can be very challenging.
Or the weather's not right, or there's like people making noises, and then you're on like a fixed time limit because maybe the sun is going down, you only have a few hours left at the property, and you're like, oh my, we've got like 5 more rooms to do. It must be like pretty stressful sometimes.
No, it is. And it's funny you say that. I get recognized quite often in Dubai. I think it's just, the real estate scene is really big here. So a lot of real estate agents, developers. And recently, this realtor saw me at one of our shoots. He's like, oh my God, I'm a big fan. He took the photo and everything. He goes, I have to give you credit. He goes, I tried doing what you're doing. He goes, I had nightmares. People don't know that you're carrying 30, 40 minutes of monologues with someone on the other side shooting you. He goes, I couldn't get my words straight for 2 minutes. He goes, it was a nightmare. He's like, I tried over 3 days and I felt so exhausted. I was so nervous this whole time. And I'm like, I appreciate that. It can be hard, but at the same time, you figure it out, right? And the challenges, I think those are opportunities for you to better yourself. Is it hard that you're on a time crunch and you want to make sure you tour the living room and the light hits perfectly and you're on a great flow? Yes, but at the same time, life is not perfect. Why are we trying to make everything perfect where the life itself is not perfect? So my way of approaching anything is, can I go to bed knowing I've done my best? Have I really tried my best? That's how I operate on a daily basis. I always give my best no matter what I do, and I sleep really good at night. And whatever consequences after that, I'm happy to take it.
You'll need a pretty extensive vocabulary as well.
Yes.
You're describing things, and you're like, oh, I can't use that word. I've already used that word. Like, how are you going to describe this wall over here? You got to use something you've not used before. And it's not your native language as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, I appreciate you being vulnerable. I mean, put yourself in my shoe for a second. I'm a foreigner. This is not my native language. Till the age of 17, I could barely speak English. So I really picked it up after 17, once I moved to the United States. Beyond that, I've never been on camera before, prior to the YouTube channel. Now, on top of that, I'm critiquing and walking through some of the most exquisite, detailed assets in the world. I mean, we're not just talking about homes too, yachts, jets. So I'm trying to showcase their quality, their functionalities, and their details at a level that both an architect and someone who just wants to see the house can appreciate. So I have to craft my language extremely well. I cannot go too detailed, but I cannot keep it too surface because that would not help us justify what the asset is, right? That's really important. We want to bring that essence to the people. But at the same time, people from such wide variety or ranges watching me and critiquing me. And I'm a foreigner. I still make grammar mistakes. I still am not perfect when it comes to camera performance. So you're feeling all this pressure on your shoulder, and then you have the homeowner right behind the camera watching you, someone who devoted their life, and I don't care how rich they are, I don't care how successful they are, when they spend 5-10 years of their life building something, they're attached to that asset at an emotional level, just like their relationship. It's their baby. And I sympathize with that so much. And that's why I go out of my way to make these videos as good as possible. It's my way of showing respect to the other side too. But that pressure can be very overwhelming. It can literally crush you. I mean, I had moments where
I've seen the bloopers.
Yeah, I mean, it gets tough, but you make it work.
Yeah,
you make it work.
I had no idea some of the homeowners were there watching.
Oh, I mean, it's just
because I thought it was just you and Mikey.
Oh no! I mean, they're there. They hear something, and also the other part is like they would give you the spec sheets. I mean, all I need is photos. I can craft a perfect tour without even being at the property. And when I arrive, I kind of optimize my notes based on how I feel about the property. Right? I would go there. They will give me a 3-hour rundown of everything that has happened. So now I'm running the production team. I'm trying to keep my energy level because I have to be energetic and happy on camera. Homeowners just dumping information on me and they're nervous. So it's like, are you going to manage them? Are you going to just be the calm Enes that you need to be on camera and make people feel calm? Mm-hmm. Then you have a production team. They're intimidated. They're in someone's 80, 90, $100 million home. And we only have a day or two. And in the midst of this chaos, you, Enes, needs to be the most calm person out of everyone. I have my own issues and things that I have to deal with. It gets extremely complicated. It gets very emotionally mixed, but you find a way to navigate it and figure it out. And if you look at the surface and maybe not see other people doing it, these are the reasons. Yeah. It's beyond just access. It gets extremely complicated to manage. It's like we recently did an interview here of a chairman of a development company, and this individual has a certain time. When they come in, they have to be in good spirit. And so when you get your opportunity with them, you need to make them feel comfortable immediately. You need to immediately let them know that you see the world from their eyes, so they're respected and celebrated, and you can authentically get the things you want out of them. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of intricacies in the world of luxury and elevated assets. You learn along the way, and you just find a way to operate and figure it out.
Have you got one particular experience that still haunts you to this day?
I mean, many. Like Natalia has behind the cameras laughing at me right now. Honestly, challenging things happen, but for the most part, shooting Michael Jordan's home is a good example. Yeah. That took us probably 9 months to land.
Yeah. How the hell did you get that?
Beats me, I'm just like, I think it was right timing, right help, but essentially we started reaching out to them. We couldn't really get a response. Once we got a response, it was more like, we're not interested. It's been publicized enough. But then the team at Compass, the brokerage that had the listing, really helped us figure out that relationship. But essentially they were like, look, you can come and shoot this episode. You cannot tell to anyone. You cannot post it on social media. We need to see the video. Here are the lines of people that need to approve it. And the last person is Michael Jordan himself. So they're like, you can pass through all these people. He doesn't like it. We bury the video.
Yeah.
It may never see surface ever.
Mm-hmm.
If you're willing to take that risk, you can come and shoot it. So of course I said yes. And that video costed us quite a money because we used some NBA footage. We had to license footage directly from NBA. It was a 2-day shoot. I brought the entire team. It took us 2 months to edit and like 3 months of approval process. And after 6 months, they were like,
Yeah.
you can release it.
So he was impressed.
Yes. No, he personally really enjoyed the video.
Oh, nice.
So that's really nice. I look forward to meeting him one day.
And then pretty shortly after that, it sold.
Yes, it sold.
Do you think the video was a contributing factor to that?
So I'm not an agent. I don't take commission when these properties sell. I keep that relationship very separate. I go to properties that I find interesting or I feel like the audience would enjoy. And along that, we sometimes hear as the agent feels compelled to let us know that they saw the video. Like a couple of the properties we toured here, they all sold through our videos.
Then you'll not take commission.
I don't want to take commission. I don't want to be a real estate agent. I don't want to be tied to that relationship. I would rather build a media company and become a tastemaker and show the world the coolest assets, the best experiences they can enjoy.
Okay.
I find more value in that. And the thing is, once you start taking commission, you kind of fall back into the world of being an agent. And that's not me. It's so funny. Sometimes I get positioned as a salesman. I'm like, I've literally left sales. So I don't need to be, or I didn't want to be positioned as a salesman. This gives me an opportunity to showcase cool assets, make videos that I really enjoy, and along the way, help people market their products. But I don't take part in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a property in pictures and thought, oh yeah, this is going to be really cool. Like I'm excited about this. And then you get there and you're like, this really is not what I expected.
Of course it happens, right?
And then you've got to kind of
it's
really do your best to sell this place when your heart might not actually be in it, but you've already committed. Like you can't make a video saying, do you know what, guys? It's not that good.
Yeah. So that's the challenging part, right? This is how I look at it. I've toured over 400 properties and showcased it on our YouTube channel between 2 channels that we have. I've personally seen probably over 3,000 properties, over $5 million, let's say. I don't think I walked into a home where I'm like, this is perfect. You guys nailed every aspect. The architecture, build quality. Every home that I've toured is probably short on something. Does that make it a bad property? I don't think so. It's up to someone's interpretation. So what is the truth that I can convey while being respectful to the viewers? My thing is, let me show it to you. You see it with your own eyes. Let me present you the facts and you be the judge. Leave your comments down below. Do you think it's overpriced? I welcome it. Do you think the build quality could have been better? Say it. So I leave that part open because if I start going into that, which trust me, I have probably one of the most aggressive eyes to critique properties. You can take me to any high rise, any home, I'll find any flaw that's out there. I used to build these homes with my own hands. I'm not someone that walked construction sites. I ran crews. I laid foundation. I've done full plumbing lines, electrical lines, roofing, any aspect of construction. I personally done it with my own hands. The 4-year period in Texas, I've learned it all. That's the backbone of how I talk about these properties. But that won't get me to access. And it ruins the very point why I started the YouTube channel is to give people access. I think there's a tremendous value where we bring some of the most iconic assets to the world and we welcome people. And it's not a paid experience or it is not something, if you do this for me, I'll show you the video. It's open to public. I welcome it. And I want people to see every room and they can take whatever inspiration they want to take out of it or information. The direction I pick is I want to showcase it. They can critique it however they want. If the property is really bad, then I say no because this has happened and I had to walk away from a shoot. But for the most part, each property is beautiful for their own right.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful to someone, hence they built it. So we sometimes do properties that I'm like, this is not my style. I don't really love this property. But that doesn't mean I cannot be enthusiastic about it. I still respect and cherish the craftsmanship. I know what that individual had to go through to build it. And I sure have the eye to understand why they built it the way they built it.
Mhm.
So let me be their spokesperson. But the audience can have their own judgment. That's how I see it. And the other thing about critique, I want to critique if it's productive and helpful to the individual, but I want to build a positive business. I want to uplift the world. I want to bring meaningful things to the world. And this whole negative, cancel culture. I'm going to talk negative about this. This person did this. They're successful, but this is what they're not telling you. I'm not for that part of the world. That doesn't move me. That doesn't inspire me. I'm going to do meaningful things. I'm going to positively contribute to people's lives. That's what I want to do.
I would imagine seeing the properties and the jets and the yachts that you've seen, do you find it harder to like get that wow factor because you've just seen so much already? Like, do you find that now when you're visiting a property, you're like, yes, nice, but like I've already seen all these other ones. Do you find it harder to get like blown away?
That's a great question. And I get this question quite often. Couple things. Number one, once you start to understand how things are constructed and built and manufactured, you start seeing the pattern of how these assets are put together, and they're all kind of the same. The way a jet is built, the way a yacht is built and manufactured, is the same as a house. It's all some sort of a skeleton structure, and then from there, we attach components to it. We insulate the exterior, and then we capsulate the interior, hence a yacht, hence a jet, hence a home. Once you start understanding it and really breaking it down in your mind, then they are really simplified in your mind. That takes a little bit of the allure. You look at a jet and you're like, it is so refined and complicated. Then you realize around their windows, they also use the seal, just like a house.
Mm-hmm.
Then you realize they have a skeleton and everything bolts into the frame, just like a house. So that aspect takes away the allure a little bit. People look at a Rolls Royce and they're blown away. I'm like, it was so easy to strip down a Rolls Royce. It's a very simple car. It is beautifully crafted, and the story, the presentation, the positioning, and how it's all packaged together is the allure. But when you look at a Rolls Royce, it's a relatively simple car. It uses a chassis of a BMW 7 Series. It is just bolted with different materials. That's really it. So that takes the allure a little bit, but it also makes you appreciate it from a different perspective. The second part is, after a while, when you build such high taste, you start getting kicked out of different things when you walk into a luxury home or a yacht. You're not allured by the volume. You're allured or you're excited when you see someone use the space very cleverly. You see how they were so intentional. And we use the word intention a lot in our videos a lot, because luxury to me is elevating a given moment in your life. Luxury is not buying something really expensive. Luxury is looking at an experience and going, how do I elevate this? How do I make this more meaningful? How do I make this taste better? Am I going to drink my espresso in a regular cup, or I'm going to get a beautiful cup and a side of brown sugar, or maybe a little cookie, and really elevate that experience? Mm-hmm. So when I walk into properties, what I look for is how intentional were they? How purposeful they built the house. When you're in the bed and you lean to the right, can you perfectly reach to your switches? Mm-hmm. Your headboard is perfectly designed. Or when you have a bathroom and a limited footprint, how did they maximize the view? Those are the things that I look for.
So it's like the little details that are really thought about.
Exactly. Yeah. And to me, that's what makes it meaningful. Hence the long tours, hence the details, and the amount of coverage what we showcase with our tours. We want to bring that intentionality to the viewers.
Mm. Is there one particular shoot that you remember and will always remember as being like a very special property? Because I mean, a lot of videos you say how amazing each property is, but is there like one or two where you're just like, yeah, that was crazy?
There are a couple. I mean, at this point, we've toured too many iconic homes to say one or two. In LA recently, we shot a $177 million home. The developer of that property, Ardit Evangarian, he is genius. And beyond that, he's such a sincere human being. His intentionality, his way of creating a sensory experience in a home with water, sound, fire, and how every seating area, how every bedroom has to serve such an experience to you is so unique. It's one of a kind. It's like when you walk his homes, you're just taken into that world. He just encapsulates you into a different experience. Yesterday here, we toured a really cool home on Palm Jumeirah. I'm impressed with that home for a totally different reason. Palm Jumeirah is a man-made island, right? You have sand and really no landscape. And when you build on Palm, you have a lot of restrictions. Lots are very valuable. You have neighbors. You have certain setbacks, and you can only be so close to the beach. When you look at that parameter, that little box they gave you to build, it's not that much. But this home that we toured, now we will probably launch the video in a few months, was a phenomenal example of maximizing a given box and creating something so unique, so functional, so architectural, and so intentional. And to me, that's really exciting. That's really, that's a fresh breath of air. So that's a recent shoot that I personally really enjoyed. We were at Opus in Business Bay, this iconic building built by Yacht and designed by Zaha Hadid.
Oh, yeah.
Another amazing building. Once you hear the story,
you in the penthouse.
We toured the penthouse and we toured the entire building. We were doing 2 videos.
Yeah.
The building itself first to honor what Zaha Hadid and Yacht has built. And then the second video will be the penthouse.
Yeah, that's a stunning building. And even the lobby, like when you go in there, it doesn't seem real. Like the way things are coming out and everything's bending.
That was conceptualized 20 years ago. Can you believe that?
That's wild.
That is wild.
Yeah.
So imagine the vision it takes to say that 20 years ago, this is what we should build. That's what's so admirable about that property. But then we toured Sheets Goldstein residence in LA, iconic home. Palais Venetian in Cannes, south of France, iconic. We toured the Iron Man house in South Africa, iconic. The homeowner, the team that operates that home, one of a kind experience. Couple yachts that I feel like was a big accomplishment for us to showcase. So a lot. I mean, the list goes on. And we're in a fortunate place now. We're doing less videos and trying to do more of those iconic properties. And also the other business stuff that we're working on is just taking a little bit more of our time. And we've done enough episodes where I don't need to produce a video once a week. Yeah. I'm really trying to pick episodes that are very moving and exciting for me. Because after a while, it is hard to constantly be so overly excited for homes or styles of homes that we already toured.
Yeah.
And I want to do justice to the audience. I want to bring them something new. That way I can teach them or inform them about something new as well.
Yeah. So I'm curious still about the process of you shooting the videos. These properties are already owned by somebody.
Yes.
They're not necessarily trying to sell the property always. Are they just wanting to show the world their property? Or are you reaching out to them and being like, this is a cool property, can I show the world this? And then you have to kind of get permission from them. Or are they properties that have literally just been built and you're just trying to get some exposure so that someone buys it?
Case by case. But in the beginning, it was very much oriented around, okay, this property is for sale. They probably need exposure or some sort of marketing. Let's see if they're open to us coming in and shooting. That was really the basis. But from there, as the videos evolved, as the videos became more like celebrating people's work, it started pulling a totally different audience from an inquiry standpoint. Architects, homeowners, developers started reaching out besides realtors. And they saw the care and passion we put into these videos. And I think a lot of people want to celebrate their work. They just don't know how, in a sense. And a lot of people want the world to see the good work that they have put in. But it's hard because if you let Wall Street Journals of the world or, to some degree, Architectural Digest of the world, you don't really know what narrative goes out. And you don't have that personal connection where someone on the other side cares and hears you out. And I think one of the secret aspects of what we do is when they meet me or when they meet our team, they immediately see that care. They immediately feel like they have a friend on the other side. And that's really important. I mean, wouldn't you want to feel that way if you built a $50 million home and you poured your heart and soul into it? I mean, so many of these homes are the reasons for divorces, bankruptcies. Like, these are ambitious projects that these people go after.
So they're the reasons for divorces.
Yeah. I mean, so many people in LA went bankrupt because of developing high-end.
Like that, the famous one, the one. Like that, from what I heard, that cost an absolute fortune to make. Then they tried to sell it for over 200 mil or something, and then
they started off with 500 million.
500 million.
Then it went down to 250. Nile bankrupted, went to foreclosure, and then my friend Rich bought it. Richard Sagyan. So that's a whole 10 plus year story. But we find a way to tie back to answer back your question. It turned into celebrating people's accomplishments and a way to give them a voice to tell their story. And I've been recently interviewing more people because the stories are so rich, the stories are so complex that I feel like it's better people hear it from the individuals themselves than rather than me just informing them. And truth be told, after a while, it is also extremely demanding on me, where I go in for a week and I soak in everything about this property. Its story, its details, functions, you name it, to showcase it the best way possible. But then I have to walk away from that and go to a totally new home. Now, it's easier for that homeowner to give me all of this information because they had 5 years to digest it. I have 1 week. I have 2 days. I have 3 hours. It becomes quite demanding. And the thing that I don't want to say I'm struggling with, but it makes it hard for me is I go do that, get out of that space, run our businesses, get out of that space, go deal with the next person. And sometimes the projects are so complicated. In the same time, you're working on 7 videos.
Yeah.
And I know this happens to you as well.
Your head is everywhere.
Your head is everywhere. It's like you're touring a house, you're touring a building that Zaha Hadid designed. Very complex project, huge team behind it. They want to make sure everything goes well. There's a penthouse, there's a building. You're shooting one of the most well-built villas on the Palm, last minute access. This is the only time you can shoot it. Take it or leave it. You're in LA. You're working on 3 other projects. We've traveled from Spain to New York on a container ship over 11 days. We're working on this big documentary. So we're editing that in conjunction with a massive corporation in Turkey, starting a podcast channel, running all the businesses, and a lot of the meetings that I go to now, as you can imagine, very intentional. Everybody wants pure focus. So it gets quite overwhelming. It's an exciting life to live, but somewhere in there, we try to juggle all of that and honor these inquiries or the opportunities that come to us, or sometimes we go to them, and we're generally well received if we go to somewhere. Yeah.
What was the reason behind launching the second channel?
Second channel initially was for us to showcase behind the scenes, and sometimes we get these cool properties. Maybe they're not up to the level for the main channel, but on the second channel,
some racked up some good views there.
Yeah, some of them racked up.
You're like, oh damn, this should have gone on the main channel.
I know. It's more like, the thing is, we don't do marketing. Our videos are our marketing. So our channel is the marketing platform. Hence, we want to have a certain palette of properties on our main channel. It needs to be whether it's really expensive or best of its category. And second channel was for us to have fun a little bit and test things, around. And as we've been making less and less videos, we've unfortunately neglected the second channel, but I'm on the process of really opening up the backside of my business, the behind the scenes, and I'm hoping to vlog more often and release 1 or 2 videos a month. That's my next goal, beyond starting a podcast channel, and shift our business a little bit, because in my ideal world, I want to make 20 to 30 iconic tours a year, really one-of-ones, whether it's a jet, yacht, experience, home, that we will figure out as we go. But then on the back end, show the people the networking, the behind the scenes.
Yeah, I think people want to see the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you're probably at the point now, and probably have been for a while, you're meeting some interesting people. And I
Very much so.
imagine a lot of people want to know the process of what actually goes on to meet the people, to get these things done, to create the videos.
Yeah, it's like I was telling Natalia, 2 days ago when I was at this development property, I gave an idea to one of the problems that they were facing, and it's a big development, and they have so many people working for them, and they had this moment there, like, how come we didn't think of this? I'm like, well, that's the value of me being me. I'm in so many different rooms. I hear so many different minds. I have a very broad perspective on real estate, media, everything else in between. And that makes us very creative to come up with solutions to many issues or developments. So we do a little bit of consulting on the back end in this aspect as well, because we have met so many incredible people and we've been part of such incredible shoots and homes. All that knowledge just sits in our brain.
Yeah.
And I think podcasts and the vlogs are our way to now open up that world to the world, open up that side of our business to the world. It's the same thing that we've done with the houses. Now we're going to do that with business and networking.
Yeah. I have a question about a video that I saw, and I'm pretty sure it's not there anymore. It was an Ibiza video.
Mm-hmm.
It was this property. I remember seeing it and thinking, what the hell? Because there on the island of Ibiza, there's not much space.
Yes.
And they do not give permission to build properties very often, particularly in the countryside. I forgot which area it was actually built, but there was nothing around.
It was
there.
high up.
Yeah. Where's that video gone?
Great question. I'm glad you asked, and this is a great way to shed light on some of the other parts of our business. So you see, when you're touring 50, 60, $100 million homes, these are homes that are pushing the boundaries, and in many cases, pushing the city limits. In that particular case, the developer of that home is an extremely lovely lady. I had such a fantastic time.
That was a nice property.
It was an incredible property, done to nines, the scale, it was grand. But unfortunately, she had some issue with the city where they had to alter a couple parts of the home to fit into the criteria. I think what has happened, and I'm not informed a lot, but what has happened is that video went live and it went viral. People loved it, but it shed a lot of light on how big of a home it was. And I think there was a part of the home that maybe should have not been as big, or maybe some of the walls weren't supposed to be as broad as they were. So she requested that we take the video down, and she had to make some alterations to the property. So it was a little bit of a political trouble on her side. And out of respect to her and just in general how we do our business, we decided to take the video down. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, that must be annoying, especially when it's doing well and you're like, oh.
I know. It is annoying, but again, it comes back to the beginning, like the intention. We want to do this to uplift everybody's lives, whether it's the people we're representing or our audience. I'm not going to keep my video out of my selfishness because I just want to retain the video. I mean, that property is something very special and important asset to her. That's more important than me keeping a video. I'm fine with that. And that approach will keep us safe. That approach will bring us new opportunities. But you do have those unfortunate scenarios here and there.
Yeah, because I was thinking if somebody may purchase a property after you've done a video about it,
yes,
do they ever reach out and say, well, I own this now and I actually don't want anybody to see it, so can you take it off? Because in a way, like, it's such an in-depth review.
Yeah.
You've got the drone shots, you have the details of every single room. If somebody wants to rob that place, they'll be like, hey, so we could sneak in through this entrance.
You're asking good questions. I mean, fair. And the way we approach it is actually very simple. We have had these situations where property will sell and the homeowner wants the video taken down. We generally just ask for part of our production cost just to recoup the investment that we made, because it's a serious investment. We have over 14 employees. It's a big operation. These videos are not easy to make. But for the most part, we try to keep the property relatively localized. We don't give out addresses. We don't give out the street access. And truth be told, most of these homes that we're touring, good luck trying to rob them. They're guarded heavily.
Yeah.
So, and also now we're touring yachts and other stuff where these are not really the concerns.
Yeah.
But we had this issue, and here and there we had to take videos down. It's just part of the job. It's just part of the risk you take. Yeah. It's like having a listing and not being able to sell, and it goes to the next person. All the work you've done goes to waste. It is a little bit of that, but we have guards in place and we let them know ahead of time. If something were to happen, this is a big investment we're making. We're happy to make the investment to make this video. But if you're going to ask us to take it down 3 months later, you need to pay us.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you found that there's a particular area or region where there's the highest demand for these multi-millionaires, billionaires wanting to live?
Dubai.
This is a recent trend, or like just past couple of years?
I think it's a recent trend. I mean, it's interesting. Doing this job intensely for the last 5 years gave me and my team a very good broad understanding of how money moves, how power moves, how a certain place can be hyped and all the momentum can shift there, and how it can shift to somewhere else so quickly. And you start recognizing all these patterns. And a lot of times internally, we have a lot of in-depth conversations about LA, Dubai, these different locations, and how these cities are moving. And I've been seeing a lot of interest towards Dubai. I think, number one, the city has done a lot of things right, and they played their cards extremely well, and they turned a lot of unfortunate situations into very fortunate situations, COVID being one of them. But also
the war in Ukraine as well.
A lot
of Russians came after that.
Exactly. Like, I feel like quarter of the hotel that I'm staying in, all Russians, and they're loving it. God bless them, And I think the other aspect is also when you travel enough and you talk to the right people, quickly you learn the art of understanding a location and its value proposition. Then from there, not only you can advise your friends, and a lot of people come to us, where should we invest? Where should we live? Where should we buy a vacation home from? I have a lot of these private conversations on the back end with the people that I meet. It gives us a chance to guide them really well. And I feel like I've been a little bit of an advocate when it comes to Dubai. And in a way, from public, I've gotten a little bit of backlash from that. It's like, what happened to you? Why you're going to Dubai so often?
Like, who's paying you?
Yeah, who's paying you? Exactly. And in my mind, I'm like, it's a shame if I'm not, because I have to acknowledge, observe, and share with the world what I see. I love LA. LA is an iconic location. Not much is happening in LA. New York is great. It's iconic. But good luck building a building in New York. And here, in 2 to 3 years, these guys are putting up high-rises left and right, skyscrapers. They're developing islands out of zero in a matter of years. And everybody's moving here. And I tell this, and I'll keep telling you this. I've never been in a city where the people that live in the city is so proud and excited to talk about where they live. I swear to God, I maybe asked 200 to 300 people over the last 10 days, how long you've been living in Dubai? Are you happy here? Not one person said, I'm not happy living in Dubai. Not one.
Yeah.
I mean, give me a break. If I do that in LA, 80% of the people would complain about something. So if a city is more international than any other place I've ever seen, if everybody's happy to live here, if all this development is happening, and every time we come here, we're having a harder time to manage our time allocation here because everybody wants to meet, everybody wants to do something. The least I can do is to showcase it and be vocal about it. So that's what I've been doing. And I think Dubai has done incredible things. And what I said at the beginning, we missed the first 30 years. I want to make sure we're here for the next 30 years.
Yeah. I mean, if I had known what was going to happen, I would have bought a couple of properties a few years ago. It's crazy. Like some of the people that were buying these off-plan properties,
yes,
literally would have been doubling their money, maybe tripling their money in a couple of years.
Some of the homes that we've toured, the development company that has built the homes, they made less money than homeowners who bought them at record prices and sold them literally a year or two later for double. They made more profit than the company who took the risk to build a property that was pushing the price point of the island in the first place.
Yeah.
That is wild. And in the simplest way, I think what Dubai has done is they've shown the world that there's another way where a city can be developed, civilization can evolve, where maybe our Western ways are not the only way this can happen, and people can be happy and city can be thriving. And I think it's a remarkable example of that. And it's inspiring to be around. I mean, I love energy. I work all the time. I love my work. I love creating things. And when I come here, this is the only city that makes me feel like maybe I'm not doing enough. Every time I go LA or somewhere else, I feel like I'm pushing the boundaries. I come here, I'm like, no. Yeah. We're not doing enough. We got to do more. And that's exciting.
We'll get back to the podcast in a second, but first of all, I want to say a massive shout out to Bionic. I have been using their supplements for the past 4 years. I never knew what supplements I needed to take. I'd always go into the pharmacy and buy a load of random bottles and end up popping pills all day, every day, not having a clue if I was consuming the vitamins which I should be consuming at all. But Bionic came to save the day. They are a tailor-made supplement company that will put together your own specific formula based on your activity, your gender. I have Bionic Pro, where I get the blood test done every 3 to 4 months, and based on that blood test, I get my own personalized formula. For those people who don't want to do a blood test or don't have access to that, then you can go with Bionic Go, where you just have to fill in a short questionnaire, and based on that questionnaire, you will get your tailored supplements with a surprisingly high degree of accuracy. So stop the guesswork, sign up to Bionic, and ensure that you remove those deficiencies and build up your immune system. It's crazy. Even when I'm driving around and I'm looking up at, again, another new skyscraper, I'm like, is there really like that much demand? And, you know, from looking at the stats, there's literally thousands of millionaires pouring into the city like every couple of months.
Some of our friends, Iman is here. So many of our friends have moved here and they're really happy.
And I would imagine that these people, you know, they've got to the point where they're probably wealthy enough to have numerous properties. Yes. So I would imagine a lot of the multimillionaires and billionaires, they have bases around the world.
Of course.
And this is like becoming one of the bases.
Exactly. No, I think there are a lot of reasons why people are coming to Dubai. Obviously, I think the taxes are one of the important ones, especially if you're in Western countries, Europe, London, California, United States, many countries or many cities, people are paying a lot of taxes. And I think people are a little bit fed up with that, because it's not that we mind paying a lot of taxes. Do we get something, out of it if you're paying all these high taxes? It's the opposite. The more higher taxes you pay, I feel like the worse of a city you get, ironically. So that's one aspect of it. I think the other aspect is safety. It's been a huge factor. I don't know what happened to the world the last 5-6 years, but I think the gap between the ultra wealthy and, low income and the middle audience is becoming bigger, but they're also losing their purchasing power. So there's a little bit of imbalance, quite a bit of imbalance when it comes to how the world and monetary systems are moving and how people are getting compensated. And that is creating a lot of pressure on people. So, but Dubai seemed to manage that better than other cities, in my opinion. You can see a variety of people living here very comfortably, whether it's the lower class, middle class, or higher class. And they seem to live in harmony, or better harmony than other cities that I've seen. And I don't know this part that well yet. This is one thing that I want to study. I think Dubai is also creating pockets where these individuals can live their lives and still have good quality of life, no matter what their income is.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. And the third part I see, especially with the wealthy crowd, they feel like they can enjoy their money here. And I can speak about this from my perspective. I live in Los Angeles. I'm careful when I wear my watches. I'm careful where I park my car, or I try to stay under the radar. I try to make sure where I'm going to a public place, it's relatively safe. I'm sitting at the right seat. I shouldn't feel that way, especially in the United States. But I do. It's unfortunate. I think it's seasonal. I think world is kind of going towards this correction season now, where we recognize all of these problems that we're having, and we're now doing something about it. We're more vocal about it and we're acknowledging it. But then I come over here, I'm like, this is not reality. It's laid back, everybody's happy. Again, I've asked so many people. I do it all the time. Hotel valet, the restaurant I go to, the people I work with, the dinners I go to. I'm asking everyone. So far, I haven't found one person that complained about living here.
Yeah. I remember when I was living in the UK, I was living in London actually. This was like the year before I ended up moving out here. I was staying in a nice area, so Kensington. And I would walk my apartment. It was a nice apartment. I'd walk from one end of Kensington to another to go to the gym every day. And I remember when I was doing this walk, there were certain streets where there was just homeless people scattered all over the place. Then there was like just filth and rubbish everywhere. And then every so often there'd be some dodgy looking people that you would cross the road just to make sure that you're not like walking in the same direction as them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm in London, I'm paying a lot to live here, and I'm paying the taxes, the council tax, all of this on top.
Yeah.
And still, this is what I'm getting for my money. Like, I don't feel safe. It's not nice to look at. It just fills you with this kind of bad vibe. And I can't go out, wear a watch. I didn't even like walking around with my music on, because I always felt like I had to like look over my shoulder to make sure I wasn't going to get jumped. And this was 2018, 2019. It's even worse now. Like, you've got these guys who are all covered up in black, riding around on these like electric bikes, who are just circling around waiting to catch somebody who's using their phone, and then they spot them, zoom past, swipe it, and they're gone. And then the police don't do anything about it.
Yeah.
It's just forgotten. And it's like, oh, okay, so this is how life is now. It's not, if you have money, you're not going to tolerate that.
Yeah. It's happening to a lot of places in the world. But I feel like, again, Dubai's safety aspect is huge. And a lot of times I find myself telling a lot of my friends that haven't come to Dubai, when I hear them having a layover here, or they're giving a day or two to travel to Dubai, I'm like, let me make sure I set you up. They're like, oh, are there places you're going to recommend us? No. I want to get you a driver. I want you to drive around the city and just look out the window. The best thing you can take out of Dubai is the fact that it teaches you there's another way where civilizations can evolve and things can be operated differently. And what people need to understand, especially with these older economies or these countries like, UK, US, we have such established democracies with laws and, senates and Congress and all that. That's all great. But world is evolving, and world is evolving and changing faster than it has ever been. So that means we may need to do certain things differently. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, I think governments are a little too slow. And I think what made this country so great is they have a very articulate and fast-moving government. They see it and they adapt to it, then they act very quickly. They're up to date, extremely fast. So before the citizens build resentment, before problems really pile up, they can get ahead of it. Mm-hmm. And that's really the rule book for any big business. You don't want to neglect, you don't want to have another Boeing situation where years of issues piled on top of each other. Hence, now you have years of cleanup to do. A lot of those little problems could have been addressed along the way. Mm-hmm. But once you turn a blind eye to one side, it's just going to pile up. People don't forget. And those issues are going to have consequences. And I think that's what the world is dealing with right now. There's still a long journey ahead. I don't think those problems are that easy to solve. It can be, if Dubai did this over the last 30 years, you can do anything. But I'm curious to see how these Western countries are going to handle these issues.
Yeah. There is one thing which I notice is like a common trend with these Dubai properties, particularly the villas. Mm-hmm. They do tend to be built quite closely together, in close proximity. And I think a lot of people who watch these videos, they sometimes are a bit confused as, well, hang on, you're paying this pretty huge price for a beautiful property, but you don't get much space and land.
Yes.
That does tend to be the Dubai style. And I think that's just the way it is. Although you did mention some of the properties that you've seen on the Palm, they come with an extensive private beach, which is probably one of the reasons why the Palm location itself is one of the most premium places.
Well, to me, it's more like it's just a type of offering, right? Palm Jumeirah is a man-made island, and it's a huge accomplishment that they pull this off. I mean, it's pretty impressive. The fact that they can bring that much sand and create an artificial island, and it's a really cool experience to be there. I would love to live on the Palm, and when you have that valuable of real estate, you want to maximize it, right? I mean, if you're complaining about Palm, how about New York? People spend hundreds of millions of dollars and have a neighbor above and below.
Yeah.
That's even
and
worse.
The building is
And
maybe swaying a little bit.
Yeah, and you're sharing an elevator with them.
Yeah.
I mean, you have no privacy. At least here, you can just pull into your garage and you can stay in your home. And to me, Palm Jumeirah is a little bit of like a club. It's like you have the cachet, you have the means to buy a property at that level, and each one of the fronts have their own security. And to be frank, yes, it's all open, but Palm is weirdly private. The beaches are not that utilized. Like
it's difficult to get on to, you need to get serious clearance to get
exactly.
To the villas.
So to me, that's part of the offering. If that's not for you, I mean, there are other parts of Dubai where you can get more privacy. Sea access is really valuable in Dubai, and they are doing their best to capitalize on that as efficiently as possible. And I think part of Dubai, or part of what they're seeing it is, maybe giving that to residential use is not the best case. Commercializing it, putting high rises, maximizes that beach access a little bit more. It's just the land and maximizing value, and that was their way of doing it. Is it for everyone? No. Is it safe? More safe than most places. Yeah. And I've spent enough time on the Palm looking at those properties. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. If you really want to be private, you just close your sliding glass doors.
Yeah.
When you want to use the beach, you use the beach. I mean, you're talking about privacy. Anybody can fly a drone. You can fly over anybody's home. I think the concept of privacy has changed over the last few decades. Yeah. For me, it's fine, but I also understand why people don't like it.
Have you checked out the that new development in Monaco where they've reclaimed the land?
Yes.
Was it?
It's powerful. I mean, that's the future of development. I feel like Dubai has been doing a lot of that, and with the new island that they're doing, Abu Dhabi, where things are going, they're going to reclaim more land and utilize sea more. Monaco is a different situation because they have such limited land, and it is such an interesting country, technically protected by France. And it's a tax haven in the middle of Europe. That's their version of Singapore. It's like we have Singapore, we have Hong Kong, we have Monaco. To some degree, we have Bahamas and Biminis and all that on the other side of the world. And I feel like we have now Dubai. Mm-hmm. That's the place you want to put your money in, and maybe put some of your assets in. And in the case of Monaco, given they have such limited land, that's the only way they can grow. Yeah. Because they cannot go backwards. They have a country limit, but they can fill the water. And I think they've done a pretty good job. Last time I was there in October, Monaco Yacht Show, and it looked really good. I haven't been in it. I think next time I'm there, I'll probably check it out, but it seemed really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know many real estate agents here in Dubai?
I know a few.
Do you have any tips for them, or have any idea why some of them are making such a killing?
That's a great question.
Because there's a lot of people. I mean, I see this in their Instagram bio, real estate agent in Dubai. Maybe half of them probably aren't, but that's a whole nother story. but there are some who manage to sell a property, hundreds of millions of dirhams, and they're taking commission.
Yes,
they can literally retire off one sale.
Yes,
but how are they doing that? Is it luck? Is there a skill to it?
I think shows like $1 Million Listing. I can't remember the name. The one on Netflix, Selling Sunset, have really glamorized what being a real estate agent is, and to some degree, it's a phenomenal job. I personally really enjoyed it because with only a few months of education or preparation, you get access to incredible assets, and indirectly, you get access to incredible people as well. And if you utilize those resources really well, you can build yourself an incredible career and a network at a very short period of time. Now, when I look at Dubai and Dubai real estate scene, it's very competitive. A lot of agents here. The amount of DMs I get from Dubai agents, I don't get that from any other city in the world. It's crazy how many agents are out here. And Granted, there's so much new development coming to the city. There's need for all these agents. But ultimately, doing this job for the last 5 years intensely, meeting with real estate agents across the world, one thing I can guarantee you that will really work in your favor is number one, being honest and trustworthy, because you're helping someone make make the biggest investment of their lives a lot of the times. So you want to make sure you're really trusted and you have good intentions. Number two, you really know what you're doing. It is so important to be knowledgeable when it comes to real estate, because as soon as you know what you're talking about, people engage with you differently. Even I was a new real estate agent in LA. I picked up business so quickly because I knew houses. I could go run comps and figure out what the fair market value is, but I knew a good home when I saw it. And I could articulate that in a matter of seconds, and people felt so comfortable working with me as an agent. If you're knowledgeable, that's the heck. Everybody's trying to do the social media thing, all this and all that, and marketing, door knocking. It's all great, and they should do it. But ultimately, if you really know your properties, your listings, if you really know the area, and when someone comes to you, you're more knowledgeable than them because they've been just looking at one area for so long that a lot of times the buyers themselves or sellers themselves are more knowledgeable than the listing agent. Well, how's that going to work out? How are they supposed to trust you where they're more invested in the area than you? Yeah. The only way to beat that is constantly improving yourself. If I was an agent in Dubai, I would see every property. I would network all the time. I would meet with every developer. I would watch every video, and I would eat, sleep, drink Dubai. And that will make you the best agent. That's the best advice that will always, always help you get in front of everybody.
Yeah. I have some friends who are doing it, and they're new to the game, and they would always ask me, they're like, hey, Mike, do you know anyone who's got a bit of money? I'm like, well, yeah, I know a few people with a bit of money, because they're trying to obviously, boost their sales and their business and their network. And I say, like, I literally say to them, go watch Enes. Look at his videos. If I was doing what you're doing, I would do exactly the same thing.
Exactly the same thing. 100%.
Because I think through the use of social media, that is one of the best ways for you to build up your network and your personal brand. And as you are experiencing right now, you now have too many people reaching out to you that you literally just can't. You can't please everyone.
No, we can't. And we even had to burn some bridges because it got so hectic. But I will say this about social media. A lot of people ask me, like, should I do what you're doing? How active should I be on Instagram? The way I look at social media is a little bit broader. It's a scale tool. Let's say you and I are having this conversation and you're liking what you hear about me. I'm an agent and I'm selling you on my services. I'm gaining your trust. It's really valuable. But the problem is, I just did this with you, and that's not enough for business. When you put something on a video on social media, it gets to other people. So you can scale your approach. You can scale your reach. People can interact with you without you being present there. My YouTube channel is a scale tool. I'm knowledgeable when it comes to properties, and I can showcase it well. My videos happen to get millions of views, so I can do that for millions of people rather than for a few people that I show in person. It's a scale tool. So if you know something, if you want to be known for something, put that on social media and help social media's scalability grow your business.
What would you do if you lost everything, the channels, your name, nobody knew who you were starting from scratch again, but you still know everything that you know now? Would you just do exactly the same thing?
Great question. I don't know. I always say this jokingly, but Andy, my business partner and our company CEO, Andy and I should be diplomats. We're very good when it comes to navigating people and understanding different cultures and always bridging the gap. I love real estate. I love building homes. I love architecture. I think I've found myself in that business one way or another, and I just enjoy craftsmanship. Like, we've been showcasing more cars, more jets, anything that requires human craftsmanship and human attention. I always find it interesting. So I feel like I would end up in some sort of that space, whether it's real estate, aviation, yachts. I also enjoy understanding yachts a lot. I think
yachts are cool.
Yachts are cool.
Yeah.
Such a small niche industry. And I think what they're accomplishing, what they're building is quite remarkable. Some of these yachts are so advanced, I think they put homes to shame.
Yeah.
That's how good they are. Like,
do you know people who no longer live in homes, but just permanently live on their yacht?
A lot of billionaires have yachts and spend a lot of time on yachts. If I were to be a billionaire tomorrow, my ultimate way of living is I would have a massive yacht, fully staffed. I would live on the yacht. That yacht would constantly travel the world and everybody would come to me.
Yeah.
And I would have an office on one of the decks and my staff would be there. And then they will come for a week or two and I'll fly them back out. Yachting is the ultimate vacation experience. Yeah. I love yachts. I think it's immersive. You're surrounded by water. And it's an interesting way. If it's a well-run yacht, the staff can curate such an incredible and pointed experience for you that is quite hard to explain. And you immediately become very close with the crew in a sense, because you live in a confined space. But a lot of these crew members, they do such a good job of making themselves feel discreet in the space while serving you. I will tell you like a really interesting, funny story. And the way these yachts are operated are at such high discipline that sometimes when I stay on yachts, I do these little things to test out how good they are maintaining the yacht. When we were on Tommy Hilfiger's yacht, I would go to my room at like 11 a.m. and it would be all cleaned perfectly. My beds are made. My bed is made. Everything's cleaned up. And they will have, I think they had like 2 or 3 water bottles around the room. And I would go move one water bottle like 6 inches back and then turn it to the side a little bit. And I would go change the Nespresso pods to different colors just to mess with them. I would come back 2 hours later. It's all corrected.
Yeah.
Seamlessly. Every day you get a brand new soap and they would recycle the soap that you use. So every day you can open up a fresh package. To me, that kind of intentionality is super cool. It's exciting. And it's also a good way for you to separate yourself from your life. I feel like even here, if I went to vacation to one of these hotels, I have my laptop, I'm still connected to the ground. But when you're out there, it just sets a different tone for you to enjoy your time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've not experienced being on the super massive yachts, but I've been on some nice yachts.
Yeah.
And it is, in my opinion, from everything that I have done so far in my life, it is up there with like the top experience. Like you can't beat just being on a yacht, a nice, beautiful yacht with some good people. And for example, I remember one, which is like an image which just stays in my mind. We were just looking at the island of Capri from the yacht. And it's just unbelievable. Surrounded by water, this crazy backdrop. And the thing is, like when you're on a yacht, you can constantly change that backdrop. Like if you have, even in my apartment now, I have a really nice view, but then there's a lot going on, but it's the same view. It doesn't change. With a yacht, you're in complete control of what view you want to have.
Exactly.
And it never gets old.
It never gets old. And I just think that's the closest you're going to be able to get to nature, and having water around you all times, it helps. I mean, I personally really enjoy it. I was going to ask you, what is the biggest yacht you've been on?
I think it was like 100 actually, I've been on some huge ones, but they haven't been moving.
Gotcha.
I mean, obviously, like in Monaco and Abu Dhabi, usually when I've gone to like the Grand Prix, you step on board, you have a little look around.
Yeah.
But the biggest one moving is probably like 120 foot.
Got it.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say, you should come to Monaco Yacht Show with us next year. We always take a few of our friends. That's a good opportunity to see. But chartering one of those really big yachts, it's an experience.
Yeah.
They have like yacht crews are some of the most impressive crews in the world, in my opinion. They're so efficient, they're so disciplined, and they will listen you. You will say something about your meal and they will take notice. The next day it will be perfectly articulated.
Mm-hmm.
You'll say, I'm craving a cookie. They'll tell the chef during the dinner, you'll also get cookies because they've heard you during the day. So little things like that make your time a little bit more special.
Yeah. Have you noticed any patterns between the people who are renting yachts and properties versus actually buying them?
Interesting question.
Because I know if you want to go on a super yacht for a week, it's going to cost you $500,000 to maybe even €1 million just for like one week.
Easy.
So you would think, well, surely it makes more sense just to buy one. But then if you're buying one, what do they say? Like to run a yacht, it costs like 10% of the value.
I would say roughly. Operating a yacht is extremely expensive. If you are really keeping up with your yacht, there's an ongoing maintenance. I mean, it literally sits in salty water at all times. So you can imagine the corrosion, the upkeep. Then you have staff. Staff can get very expensive. I think the difference is what I've learned and what I've really experienced. People own assets for different reasons. To some, owning a yacht is worth it because the business that they do and the way they utilize the yacht, they make their money in other ways. Some of these yacht owners really enjoy being a yacht owner. They have great relationships with the shipyards. It's like a hobby for them. It's not just an asset that they experience. It's almost like having a car collection in a way. The second reason is I've seen a lot of yacht owners using their yacht for their businesses. They would constantly have people on that they do business with. Mm-hmm. They would rent it out. They would charter it out. There are a lot of successful yachts that charter extremely well, where the owners would charter it for like 10 to 15 weeks, and that pays for the entire yacht and the upkeep. And in their mind, they get to enjoy it for free. So that's a nice trade-off. And if you can assemble a team and an infrastructure where you're efficient, you can do that. There are a lot of yacht owners that do that. The people that charter, generally, they don't use it enough where it makes more sense for them to charter than buy, just like anybody that charters a jet. But it does get very expensive. When you look at the weekly price, it seems very hard to justify, and I get that. Yachting is not cheap. But when you're at that kind of wealth and a good week on a yacht where you can clear your mind, come up with ideas, and kind of just ground yourself again, to a lot of people, it's worth it. That's why there's that industry, and that's why people pay. I mean, there are yachts that charters $3 to $4 million a week, and they get chartered quite often. Yeah, and it's an interesting world, yachting world, and I want to dive into it more. I have some ideas planned with our team to do more in-depth yacht videos and go into shipyards. Yachting world is quite interesting. Yeah. Do
you feel as though that's probably the direction that you might go into, doing more yacht tours?
I wanna tour more buildings. I wanna talk more about architecture, and I think we've done enough homes where there's only so much I can talk about homes, but buildings, museums are a totally different animal of their own. They're more complex to shoot. You have more people involved, hence it gets more hectic and more management intensive. So I have to figure that part out. Yachts definitely more, because that industry is incredible in my opinion. The craftsmanship, the engineering that goes into these yachts, and it is a bit of an untold story. Yachting industry, in my opinion, hasn't done the best job of telling their story, and they're not in the eye of the public. And I think the more I can do that, the more yachting will get popular. And I just think yachting is such a cool experience that I want to be the advocate for that. Aviation is arguably the hardest. These jets are very hard to get access to, and they're very limited. There are only so many Boeing business jets, global, 7500s, and exciting jets that I can tour.
Yeah, because surely it has to be big enough. Yes. How are you going to do like an extensive video on a small jet? Even if it's a nice jet, it's like you've done the tour in 5 minutes.
Exactly. Well, it's funny because we did a shoot with Qatar Executive, and we had a G700 there. It's an incredible jet, but like you said, from a visual perspective, it takes 2 minutes to walk it. So you have to really dive in and talk about the technical aspect, engineering, and you have to get nerdy. Well, you're not sure if everybody wants the nerdy aspect of it too. So it's a fine balance, but I'm figuring it out. But jets are incredible creations. I mean, the fact that you can go up to that elevation and go that fast and operate in all continents and all weather conditions is quite impressive. Yeah. So there are more assets that we can cover.
Have you seen the BM1 channel?
Yes, they do great videos. Yeah. They do great videos. Exactly. But I want to bring the personalities that are behind these creations. I think we need to hear more developers and more architects. I think there's a lot of inspiration we can take from those individuals.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yeah, you're right. I think a lot of the architects don't get the credit that is deserved. I mean, some of the best villas, properties, and even yachts that I've seen, you really don't know the story behind it
Absolutely.
at all. And it's a shame.
I mean, so much time and effort goes into these assets that knowing that aspect of it haunts me.
Yeah.
I don't know how to make a short video because when I look at a home, I immediately see the amount of work and I'm like, how do I honor it? How do I tell that story? How do I make people appreciate what's in front of them? Because we've gone so quick to form an opinion about anything because of social media. It's like $40 million. That's not worth it. Well, hear them out, give them a chance.
Yeah.
Look at the house for a second, see what they have created here. Maybe they have spent 5 years just dealing with the legalities of building a property on this plot alone. They spent so much time and they had to go through so many different rules and regulations to create a space that's unique, architectural, like hear their story out. And that's really what I try to do. And sometimes that comes across as Enes is talking too highly about a property. Let it be.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing and I know the effort that goes into these homes. I want to make sure it's honored.
Do you think that the owners of these properties, yachts, jets, do they seem happy to you?
Great question. I wouldn't say yes. Like they are to some degree. I mean, I've met a lot of wealthy homeowners, yacht owners they seemed very happy and in peace with themselves. But I also seen a lot of people that they're not fulfilled. They're kind of doing this out of, okay, I'm wealthy now. I must own a house. I must own a garage. I must own a car collection. I mean, I've seen many homeowners where they have these assets. It never gets used. Like we sometimes go to homes, they're like, oh, use the cars. We haven't driven that car for 3 years. I'm like, why is it sitting here?
Yeah.
What are you doing with this? It's really interesting to see because, look, it's kind of weird for us to like walk into someone's home and we're in their bedroom and we just met them or we've done a little bit of information on who they are and about the house, but we are very much into their lives. We're shooting their asset. So it gives us a really interesting, intimate look into their lives. But what I found, what I've learned from people is happiness comes within and happiness comes from knowing who you are. Self-awareness is key to happiness. And the people that I saw that were happy, they're just really aware of who they are, what makes them happy, and they have built a life that facilitates that. Money doesn't buy you happiness. Using money the right way and knowing who you are is a way to happiness. Yeah. And I've seen some people that have a phenomenal job. And those are some of the most rewarding conversations I have. And I see them in this life, in this world of luxury, living happy. I'm like, oh, that's their version of it. So it gives me a chance to craft my own or help people see the world from that perspective.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been interesting.
Have you got an idea of what your perfect home would look like? Like you must have a future home that you're looking to build in a certain location. How would you describe? I mean, obviously, you don't go into every single detail, but like, how would you envision your perfect home?
I will start broad and go to the home that I would design. But the thing that I've been blessed with the last 5 years is without having to pay for it, I've gotten the experience to live, stay, tour the most exclusive and extravagant assets. I've driven the best cars, been on best jets, yachts, homes, and in a weird way, it turned me off from the world of luxury and world of excess. I think it's too much.
Yeah.
Some of these assets are not only too extravagant, they're also not being utilized. And the word utility means a lot to me. If I'm going to go spend the money on something, I want it to be utilized. I want it to be put to work. right? If I'm buying an expensive watch, I'm going to wear it. It's going to have scratches. If I'm going to buy a nice car, I'm going to drive it all the time. That's my way of honoring and utilizing what I've done. And it kills me to see these homes not being occupied for years. It kills me to see these homes sit empty, not being cherished. So from that perspective, I've actually gone turned off to own big assets. I went even more minimal with my lifestyle. But what I've learned through this journey is bringing luxury and elevation to your life really elevates everything and opens your eyes to experiences. So rather than indulging in excess, I go less is more.
Yeah.
I pay attention to my clothes. I buy the best of everything. And if I cannot buy it or afford it, I am happy with what I have. But I will only buy the best if I'm going to go make that change. I eat the best food I can afford. I try to do the best of everything I can afford and elevate my day-to-day life. I think that's more meaningful. And that increases the quality of my life. That increases my happiness. And from that, I can live the best version of myself. That's really what I try to advise people. You know, the best luxury you can do, buy yourself the best toothpaste. You start your day with it, you end your day with it. It should be the best product you can afford.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a small thing. You know, we spend all this excessive money on cars, homes. How about your life? How about your body? How about the food you eat?
Yeah.
That's the first place you should go luxury. Whatever that goes into you and takes care of you, because it's the you that's going to make and create all this wealth.
Mm-hmm.
So if we don't have that right, we got a big problem.
Yeah.
Now, going back to designing a home, it's an idea that terrifies me because now I know too much about homes and I feel like I will get stuck in it. But
Like a 10-year project.
yeah, it will kill me. It's like I know like it's my drug and I don't want to use it, you know? But I love the materials: concrete, steel, glass, and wood. I am more of a minimalist and I believe in purity of elements and materials used. And I believe in homes where you can interact with these materials. They become part of the texture and they become part of the experience. So my ideal home would be a all concrete, steel, glass, wood, mid-century modern home.
Mm-hmm.
That's my dream to build. And I want to build one in California. And on that subject, we're actually building one in Mexico. It's our first development project where we're partnering with a developer.
So it's a test.
It's a test, and we've been approached with this idea many times, and we said no to every single one of them. But this one felt right.
Mm-hmm.
The people that we're partnering up with over there, we really believe in their vision. We really believe in the location, and we really believe in the home that we're building with our architect. So it just felt right. And we also waited this long because when we are ready to do this, I wanted to make sure I can bring the audience into this and make them part of the experience. So my goal is when we're done building the home, I want to have 200 of our members, our viewers, come see the home in person. We're going to document the entire process of building the home. We haven't launched it yet, but on one of our upcoming videos, we're announcing. So I'm telling you first, we are announcing that we're doing our first development. It's in Mexico, and we're excited for it.
Mm. It's interesting what you say about the utilization because it's something which I've experienced. One of the things I love to do with some money which I have is to buy myself experiences and travel.
Yes.
Now, I have an assistant. I could get my assistant to book something for me, but one of the things I enjoy the most is just looking at places where I could potentially stay. So I especially in the summer, I spend so much time looking through Airbnb, looking through Expedia, whether it be hotels or apartments, sometimes villas, and I'm like, which one am I going to enjoy staying at the most? Because it makes a huge difference to your trip if you're staying in a nice place. There's a few times where I'm like, oh, maybe I'll budget on this one a little bit, and I stay somewhere a little bit more conservative. But then I get there and I'm like, it's not as nice as I wanted it to be, and it has a big impact on how you feel, but the overall experience of the trip as well. So for anyone who is going on a trip and maybe they only get to go on a trip like twice a year, I would advise just to splash out a little bit because it can have a massive impact on how good that experience is. And from all the different places which I've stayed at, and there's been like a wide variety of them, each place I stay at, I learn something from it. There's things that I like, and then there's things which I thought I would have liked, and then I end up hating once I've actually experienced it. And there's been some times where I've been like, okay, let me go stay at like a big villa. And I end up staying at a big villa, but it's only like me, or maybe it's me and someone else, and I'm thinking, this is too big. Like this, like you said, it's
It's
a
not
waste.
engaged.
It's a waste, and it didn't even really feel very homely because it was too quiet. Like this place is supposed to have more action and more people running about. You need to be have a family here. And I would imagine some of the giant properties that you see are just too big, too excessive. Now, some people might want that, but I don't think that would be something which I would like. I prefer something maybe a little bit smaller, more cozy, that feels more homely. But for me, something which is like essential is having a view.
Yes.
I need to have a view, ideally of the water, but not everybody has that same need.
Exactly. No, I mean, you're bringing extremely good points. And yes, it does feel that way when you walk into a big home, or a lot of times the homeowners would want us to stay at the property. Well, we have a good sized team, but it's only a few of us. And some of these homes are so big, even we don't feel comfortable in them because it takes like 2 minutes to walk to the kitchen, just to grab a bottle of water. But some people like it. And for me, when I showcase these homes, if I go into analyzing and trying to justify every property that I tour, I won't be able to tour anything. My perspective is, you watch the tour and you take whatever you want to take out of it. Maybe use this tour as a way to understand that was a flaw by designing a big home. Make your home smaller. There's always something to be learned out of anything. Mm-hmm. And for me, the dream property is where every inch is utilized. I'm such a believer in utilization. It's like you buy something, wear it till it rips off. Like give it its run. And that's where I find a happiness. That's where I find where luxury is utilized and beneficial. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't agree more with your vacation approach, because you only have few weeks out of your year to really go enjoy your time and give your mind a break, a chance. So you want to create the best environment possible for you to be inspired and for you to get quality rest. And little things make tremendous differences. Mm-hmm. And those little moments, little pockets where you can improve, enhance, it adds up real quickly, and it just makes it that much more memorable. And that's really what I was trying to say about luxury and elevating a given moment. Luxury is not buying a Rolls Royce. You can have luxury is having a good car, maintaining it, and having a car that serves your purpose perfectly.
Yeah.
That's luxury. Or going to a place to eat that is good for you, and it's a place that's comfortable, calm, because that's what your mind needs. That's your luxury. And your luxury may be different than the others.
Mm-hmm. Where do you see the real estate market heading in the next 10 to 20 years? Do you think there's going to be a lot more activity in the Middle East? Is there any places which are upcoming?
Middle East is the place to be. I see a very bright future here, not just in Dubai, not just in UAE. I think the surrounding countries are catching up as well, or seeing what Dubai has managed to accomplish and learning from it, which is great.
Saudi will be interesting in the next 10 years.
Saudi, they have a lot of money and they have a lot of resources. But I still think there's a challenge of building culture and creating an environment like Dubai. It is more than resources. That also takes vision. And I do think they have it, but we'll see if they will be able to execute on that. I'm closely monitoring that as well. In regards to real estate, what I'm seeing with real estate that's happening is owning real estate, owning a property, owning a high rise is turning into owning a stock. It's like a financial investment tool. I see a lot of people buying real estate, even though they may not utilize it as actively as they should. It is another form of investment.
New York like that.
New York is like that. Dubai is like that.
Yeah.
I feel like so many of these apartments here are also not being utilized. Yeah. It's a way for people to invest. They see where the city is going, and they'll probably make good money as well. So, and given that interest rates are going down, I think the overall global real estate market will pick up. But I do think certain cities that are having other troubles like safety, maybe regulations, they will still face those problems.
Yeah.
Maybe they will experience the growth a little bit slower.
Mm-hmm. And do you have any exciting new projects happening this year that you can share?
I do. Actually, this is something we've been working on little more than a year, but we're launching our own home goods company. This is something we've been wanting to do. As you know, it is very fortunate that we have an incredible reach, and like I personally really enjoy making videos and bringing these experiences to our viewers. But also, I've been very hesitant when it comes to launching another brand, another company, and extending the experience of our channel. And we've been approached by many companies to do many things, and none of them felt quite right to do it at a big scale. But the last almost 2 years now, we've been working on a couple of products where I want to bring a piece of the experience of these homes to people's homes. And when we were thinking of that, because it's all about elevating the moment, what product can we make?
Scented candles.
We're making candles.
Yes.
But we will not make it scented. We will make it with essential oils, candles that are actually good for you.
Yeah. Because the big thing about the health and inhaling.
They're filled with chemicals.
Yeah.
Most of the good brands that you know of, they're filled with chemicals. And it's been an ongoing journey, hence why it's been taking a little bit because...
But by the way, was that a secret?
Yeah, no, like you're the first person I'm telling this to actually, because we'll launch it in a few months.
Okay.
And we're really excited for it. And our concept behind that was what part of the experience we can bring into people's homes, something that they can interact with and they can utilize. You don't just buy it and it sits. And we felt like candle was the perfect approach. It sets the tone. It elevates any moment, any place that you put a candle in. And it's oddly, we thought relatively easy product to manufacture, but it's actually quite complex to make a good candle and ship it across the world. But we're launching our home goods company. Our first product is candles, and we'll make many iterations, and we're making it in-house. We're hand pouring them. So it's a very boutique experience as well.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
That's a great idea. I mean, you can get into a lot of different products aside from just candles.
Well, also, it's our way to curate candles for some of the properties that we're touring and bring that experience to everyone. It's like we do episodes sometimes where 10 million people watch it and they love the property, but that's the most amount of access they can get. They cannot interact with it anymore. What if there was a custom scent made for that house with a type of vase design that comes from that property that can sit in your living room? I mean, that's intentional. That's meaningful. And
do you know what scent always gets me? At the one hotel.
Really?
Yeah.
You like that?
I don't know why.
It's good.
I like it.
Yeah. I mean, Dubai, I feel like most of the hotels here, they're all exuding in scents. But it's a really interesting world. And as we delve into it more, we realize most of the industry is heavily relying on chemicals. And the whole channel, what we're doing is all about elevating people's lives. So we had to go figure out a way to do this really healthy and with more organic ingredients.
I've got one over there. It's a waffle scented candle. It's so good.
Yeah.
It probably not healthy at all.
Probably.
But the worst, I like it. I come into my apartment, I'm like, oh man, it smells of like waffles and like, it's probably not good for my diet because it just makes me want to eat crap. But it is like, it's a nice thing to smell. But you're right, I haven't really looked into what it is that I'm inhaling. So it's definitely a big thing. I
mean, the base that they're using, the chemicals they're using, it can be quite toxic. And a lot of times candle companies use this to make sure their candles burn evenly. And it's almost like it regulates the candle. Yeah. But you end up inhaling a bunch of chemicals. And as we were delving into this journey more and more, some of the products, some of the fragrances that we were testing, I was having an allergic reaction to it. I mean, I wasn't feeling well around these scents. But as we started using more organic ingredients, I'm like, oh, wow, this is great. It burns for hours. It doesn't affect anything. And you can still get that smell and that experience, you know? It's just more expensive to make it that way.
Does the same go for the scented sticks? You know,
yes. There's there are many ways to exude scent, whether it's through fragrances, which are chemically made, or through essential oils, which are essentially made from plants. Oils are more expensive. They're harder to burn. They're harder to fabricate into a complex scent, but it is doable. And there are companies that are doing all organic candles as well, but it hasn't been vocalized that much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what a great opportunity for us to maybe be, in front of that and let people know that maybe what they're burning in their house is not the best thing for them.
Would you ever get into furniture? I bet that's a whole different ball game.
It's a whole different ball game. I want to make sure whatever products we make, I feel extremely good about. And this is an unfortunate thing about me, where I think I'm a little bit of the handbrake when it comes to these opportunities. But I want to make sure whatever we provide to people is the best experience they can get. My answer is yes. My vision is to bring piece of the experiences of these tours to people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
So in the future, you will see us do products that will be showcased in the video that people can buy. And I want to do it limited runs.
Yeah.
It's like, you can buy this dining set. I'm only going to make 10. It's a piece of art and it will be numbered. We'll only make 10 of them and you can purchase it if it has that much meaning to you.
Yeah.
And I think candles are a way for us to tell people how they can bring luxury into their lives and it doesn't have to cost a fortune.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, there you go. You just put a candle in your living room, you light it up, it changes the mood, it changes the energy, hence you elevate. What other little things in your life that we can bring that actually brings that elevation, actually makes you think about the things you buy, the things you consume. If we can teach that kind of intention to people, we can change their lives. And that's really the journey that I've been on. Yes, I've driven Rolls Royces. Yes, I've been in most expensive homes, but it's really this intentionality and this way of purchasing, utilizing products and being intentional is what I've taken out of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest effect my journey has on me. And I love it. It changed everything I do. The food I eat, the clothes I wear, the things I do.
Yeah.
And through this company, we want that message to be sent.
Yeah. No, I think that's a perfect idea.
Thank you.
And it makes sense. I imagine you're doing a video and you're like, oh, by the way, we have these sculptures on offer and like each of them are like 50,000 euros. The audience would be like, yeah, cheers, Enes. Yeah,
cheers, Enes. Yeah.
I can't buy that. So at least this, everybody has the opportunity to get a taste of it.
Exactly. I think one of the hardest thing for us, and it's a fortunate thing, is that we have a really broad audience. People from across the world watch our channel, age of 13 to age of 80. They all find something interesting in our videos. And I love the fact that our channel, our videos welcomes everyone. Mm-hmm. And I never want that to be changed. No matter how exclusive we get, I always want our videos to be warm and inviting and informative. So I want that approach to be reflected on the product line, services, or things we're doing. No matter how exclusive we get, no matter how big of a product that we're producing or manufacturing, there has to be a way where everybody can participate. Same thing with our Patreon. It's like I'm doing a lot of meetups at places that we go. My approach is, you've seen the video, now come interact with us in these properties, in these locations. We did our meetup here in First Motors. That was exactly the point. If you show the showroom, come meet me here, see the cars, be part of the experience. And that's another thing that we're doing this year. A lot of meetups, a lot of engagements, and even bringing like our viewers to like shows that we're going. Monaco Yacht Show, Monterey Car Week. I'm going to have people join us.
Yeah, that's awesome. Where can people find you?
Instagram, my name Enes. On YouTube, we'll start our podcast soon. So
channel number 3.
We'll see. I may rename our second channel and just continue over there with the podcast and let that legacy live through the podcast channel.
I look forward to the production quality of that. Like
yes.
You will have probably the best setup ever.
It will probably be overkill like everything else we do. But yeah, podcast is coming soon. Home goods company will launch soon. You're honestly the first person I'm telling all this stuff to. So thank you for giving me a chance to talk about all these things. And yeah, we'll continue shooting good stuff and bring these tours to people.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to all the content you're going to put out. And everybody who's watching, don't get offended if he doesn't reply to you immediately, because he's extremely busy and very in demand.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for the conversation.